Stand in front of the Coker Tire display. Corky's heavy involved with SEMA, actually serving as president this year, I believe. And I just got some interesting facts handed to me, so I just want to kind of share some of those with you. You know, SEMA was founded in 1963. It moved to the Las Vegas Convention Center in '77. So this show has been going on a little over 30 years. Well, actually, this is the 30th year for the show. So the growth is astronomical. I was talking to Pete Chaporis from SoCal the other day, and Pete's been heavily involved with SEMA for a number of years now, and his description of the growth has just been unbelievable. Obviously, you know, the market has now reached a $1 billion a year industry in aftermarket parts and supplies, and again, where does it stop? Who would only know? So we look forward to sharing some more information with you this week, to go around, visit with some of the vendors, some of the people that you've used their products in the past, products that we've just discovered here, you know, over the last couple of years, and hopefully some new products that are just coming out on the market this year. So we look forward to sharing that all with you, and hopefully we can bring you something new that you can use on your ride this year. Get some literature, Dave. I hate this part. You like how big they are? So do I.
Right now we have 3 titles in Rat Rods and Hot Rods. Back from the Dead, Back from the Dead Part 2, which is a complete build, and Shake, Rattle, and Roll.
If you don't have it, make sure you get it at Blade Speed Shop or buy it online at bladespeedshop.com. Good morning. I'm standing in South Hall in the Hot Rod Heritage Fine Art booth here, sponsored by GM Racing. You look around, I mean, there's some of the neatest art of cars. Doesn't matter whether it's racing, whether it's the sport of street rodding, muscle cars, you can get it all in here. So some of the neatest art that you see in the industry. We're here with Todd Gold, the CEO of Jenny Shifter. Todd, welcome.
Thank you.
We are obviously a dealer for you. Why don't you talk a little bit about the new product that's out this year? You know, really cool. I was really impressed with the new shifter. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, the new low stick shifter basically combined a lot of part numbers and things like that, made it easier to sell to the customer. All GM, all Ford and Mopar are in one package, eliminated a lot of part numbers, but the most important thing I think was to turn the stick into a very universal situation.
Great. Tell us a little bit about these. You know, I never thought I'd see them ever again. So tell us first off what it is and tell us why you come back out with it.
Well, these are Necker knobs or suicide knobs or Brody knobs. You know, from the early days, the 40s, they were pretty prevalent. This side of the product line, we've gone sort of retro, and we started bringing back a lot of colors. Pretty soon we're going to bring back the ability to use any knob on these to work with your shift knob also. And you know, basically the colors, the whole idea, the Brody knob is just fun, period. You know, there's no other way to put it, really.
It is a neat product, and it's something that it brings back that traditional sense to a street ride. What's planned for 2008? Any new products coming out?
A few things for Jenny Shifter are going to be a floor mount shifter. Gives us a little more versatility. We are in the middle of developing shifters for the Mustangs, Camaros, you know, T5, T45, all those transmissions, 5-speed, 6-speed. You're going to see all that stuff in 2008, all of it.
Away from the shifters, and the knobs and things of that nature. Any new products that you're talking about for other parts of the car?
Pedals. Yeah, we're going to develop a whole lineup of pedals for muscle cars. We're going to revamp our pedals actually for hot rods, give them a whole new look, sort of a facelift, if you will. Jenny Shifter's been building pedals for 25 years now for hot rods, the old spoon pedals, and we're going to give those a little bit of a facelift and move forward with them also.
Well, we've used a lot of your product in our builds in the shop. It's a fantastic product from the standpoint of installation and durability, stability, and things of that nature. One of the things I've noticed is that Jenny, unlike most of the other companies in the industry, have really moved forward with innovation in that. What do you contribute that to?
I think our desire to build cars. I think I've got some great employees. All of them are car enthusiasts. I think that's important. I think the most important thing probably that drives us forward is that not everybody likes just 32 Fords. You know, I've got guys who are really into muscle cars and could care less about a 32 Ford, and other guys who are so traditional. You know, that's what drives them, and it makes us go in different directions and make the product more versatile to cross over into different industries.
There you go. Well, we really appreciate it. We look forward to a long-lasting relationship. Obviously, we've used the product. We love it, and we'll be debuting a little bit more of it this year, so appreciate it. We're here today at the final day of SEMA, and as we've taken the whole week to make a tribute to our sport and the sport that we love, I want to take a few minutes to show you a display that people have taken our sport and made a tribute to the fallen soldiers, the Marines that have fallen in Iraq. And it's sponsored by the team called Fueled by the Fallen race team. And you can go visit their website at www.fueledbythefallen.com. And again, it's a fabulous tribute to those folks that have fought for freedom around the world. So we thank you once again for joining us here at SEMA, and we'll look forward to having you again next year. We're here with Mike Foose, the owner of 33 Willys. Mike, what do you think of the build so far?
I think we're doing great. I think Keith's doing nice work, and you definitely have everything going on, all the tools, all the right stuff, and so far I'm very pleased.
The biggest problem with Mike's car is that Mike's 6'5",
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah.
This car was built for a guy that was about 5'5", or a woman that's about 5'5". So a lot of the changes have really been about trying to fit Mike into the car. Now, we talked in the very beginning when you brought us the car. It's a car that Mike's wanted since what?
13 years old.
13, 14 years old. So it's been some of the challenges that we've had, you know, in just bringing this whole thing together for you. So the problem also with this Willys is it's not only small inside, but it's tubbed. And, you know, there's no trunk space, so that eliminates a lot of it. We've also got a rather large engine in it compared to maybe some of the bigger cars that accept those type of engines. So fit and size have obviously been an issue with the whole build. So as far as some of the other changes, I think it's really just where we're locating things from.
Right. Yeah. Handles and latches and that sort of thing.
Right.
But I'm trying to keep from changing things. I want to keep a path, and that's important to me to get in and get out of here quick. You know.
Right.
And I think that's very possible to do.
Right. One of the things that, you know, we can just kind of reiterate for the audience themselves is you know, how'd you find Blades?
You guys had some great references. You know, some people that your office manager gave me before. All were very happy with the work and the guys, and you know, the shop, and shop's clean, you know, the things that I was looking for in a shop.
Well, we try to pick up most of the guys out of the local county jail or technical schools, and mostly we rely on technical
A
skills.
lot of methadone clinics here
Yeah.
in Beaver
Yeah.
Falls. Yeah.
In all kidding aside, you know, we appreciate you coming to us to get this project done for you.
And I'm all for it. You know, the car to get done for this car show in February, World of Wheels show. I've never participated. You know, I'm a simple guy. I'm not a show car guy. I would love to go in it and be in it. And I think we're close to paint right now. You know, a couple little things with steering, and you know, get it ready and paint it and get it done. I don't see what would mess up that deadline. You know.
Well, for the viewers, they'll know because they followed us last year during our crusades of all the builds that we built for last year's show. So I appreciate you saying that, because if you haven't stayed tuned, make sure that you stay tuned, because it'll be another nail biter. So unfortunately, that's what happens in these types of builds, because of the fact that you have all this planning and then it's rushed to get it done, and the quality still can't be jeopardized. So
Right.
Stay tuned, and hopefully we'll get it done by the car show. Well, Mike, we're glad that you're happy with the build so far, and
Yeah.
obviously we're happy with the progress that we've made, and hopefully the audience will take the time to come out to the Pittsburgh World of Wheels in February down here in the city of Pittsburgh and take a look at the finished product. So.
I just wish I could drive it in February instead of putting it in a trailer and shoving it indoors.
Well, we got a few nice days in February. Not many, but I remember a couple years ago we did drive about 17 cars down, so
Wow.
hopefully that'll happen again this year. Well, we appreciate Mike being here today, and we'll look forward to him coming back in the near future.
I'm planning on coming here a lot.
Sounds good.
I like being involved in this. This is important.
Good. We're here with Bill Blinn, and Bill, we've done this for the viewers before, but let's say some of the new viewers that haven't really been up to date as to where you got the car and all that. Why don't you kind of share that with them right now?
Absolutely. The car was originally ordered, factory ordered by my father, and back in 1970, and it's a car that he had in his possession for about 14 years. And he was forced to sell it at one point in his life, and about 10 years ago I decided to try to hunt the car down and find it so that I can repurchase it and get it back into the family. And fortunately, last year I was able to locate the car. I was able to convince the owner to sell the car back to me, and so I've been very fortunate to be able to purchase the car back.
Right. Well, this build is obviously near and dear to my heart. You know, we did the same similar situation for my parents not many years ago, about 4 years ago, and debuted at the Custom Car Show. It was a car that a very similar car to what they had in high school and had to sell because they purchased a home so that we had something to grow up in. And 40 years later, my dad was still looking for this style car, and it was a 48 Ford convertible, as I indicated, and a high school car that they really loved. So, not to talk about my situation, but it's kind of near and dear to my heart, because not only are we doing this car for your dad and for you, I think it's for you. He's going to get to enjoy it. But also, we're talking about debuting at the World of Wheels too. So, but let's be honest, he still doesn't know, does he?
No, he doesn't. He's aware of the fact that I purchased the car because shortly thereafter he visited and he saw the car and he was really excited. But at this point, he believes that the car is in storage, waiting for me to start the restoration process, which I've kind of indicated that won't begin for a few years. So he has no clue.
How many people have you had to bribe not to tell him? And we're fortunate because he's now down in Florida, right? So he's not able to see this being aired down there. Again, it's one of them situations. It's kind of tough to hide that stuff, isn't it?
Well, it is, and unfortunately, he is in Florida, and the biggest possible leaks are his grandsons. So I have to be very careful about how much they know.
Those are some serious bribes. How many toys a week do you have to give them?
Oh, Christmas is going to be bad.
Exactly. That's an interesting point. How are you going to show them the car's done?
Basically, what I wanted to do was take my father to the World of Wheels, who loves cars, and just casually walk up to the car without him understanding that it's his, and say, "Boy, that looks familiar. Looks like the one that you used to own." And my hopes are that it looks exactly like it was when he first owned it.
Right. Wow.
That's what we're doing for it. So let's talk about the progress and where we're at with the build itself. You know, obviously the viewers have seen it, but what's your feelings of the progression of the car? Where do you think we're at?
Well, I think it's fantastic right now. My last visit to the car, we've been able to fix all of the bad parts of the car. Your crew's been able to do a wonderful job, and I'm just absolutely pleased with the progress that we've made thus far. I mean, it's a completely different vehicle, and I think not only am I going to be pleased, but I think my father will be greatly pleased as well.
Good. One of the things that I really have to ask you, it's really been playing on my mind and probably some of the viewers that have been tuning in here, is I think it was several episodes ago that there was a spot during one of the episodes that Tony, who's the project manager on the car, indicated that he was going to have the first drive.
I get the first power run in it. I get to take you.
As long as I'm in the driver's or the passenger seat.
I get to take you for the first ride in it when it's all done. Okay.
As long as I'm in the passenger seat.
You could be in the passenger seat, but I'm going to pilot that ship.
Is that true?
Well, no, it's not true, but you know, Tony's...
We'll let him keep believing though, right?
We'll let him keep believing because he's doing such a fantastic job on the vehicle.
You're not going to tell him he can't drive it until the car is done.
I don't want to discourage him
Exactly.
in any way, so
Exactly.
absolutely.
And we've talked 100 times. Tony's one of the guys, he just we call him Go Fast Tony because that's all he wants to do. So, well, we look forward to it. You know, obviously it's been a great build for us. Great story behind it for Blades Rod Shop, and like I said, some sentimental value for me personally, but more so, you know, for the viewers. Bill and I have become very good friends over this whole thing, and again, we'll look forward to having you back next season and get the car done. David and Lois unfortunately couldn't be here today, and I'm kind of doing the interview on their behalf. 32 has been quite a interesting build. It is probably a lot different of a project than I first envisioned, you know, and again, this goes back down to David Cohen and my initial discussion of building this base end car, you know, a car that had standard features to it, standard equipment. Now we're into something that's just totally radical. You know, it's just one of those things that you start off in one direction, you ended up going another. The customer is absolutely ecstatic about the car. I'm glad because it's been painstaking, but it's come along real well. This car is really designed to be a driver. I've built it that way for them. That's the way they intended it from the start. This is probably the pinnacle car that Blades has built so far. A lot of the cars we've built are high-end, but this is just so much technology being put into it. So it's a little bit different than any of the other builds. I don't know if we can really even do a comparison to any of the other builds because of the amount of technology that's been put into this car. You know, every aspect that we've put into this car has made it a driver, whether it be the video equipment so that the viewing of the surroundings while you're going down the road is more appealing and more safe than any other vehicle that we've delivered out of here, but also the actual process going into it, you know, powder coating the underneath, so that instead of him having to go under and polish once a month the underneath, you basically take a hose, you squirt it off, and it goes back to its original condition. So as far as the interior is concerned, instead of using a high-end leather, we used a high-end simulated leather. Two reasons. First off, it'll clean up a hell of a lot better, number one. Number two, it's going to wear a lot better than leather will. So, you know, the goal has always been here is to make this car not only functional, not only drivable, but something that'll last for a long, long time. This car will be done for the Pittsburgh World of Wheels. You know, fortunately enough, we're going to be able to allow Lois and David to view the TV show and watch the build, because, you know, that's not only do we build fantastic cars around here and make customers happy every single day, but we do something that most rod shops don't do, is document it on a TV show. So, you know, for the viewers, they've been able to follow this build all along. For David and Lois, they have a documented build that is not only being enjoyed by them, but now can be enjoyed by millions and millions of viewers out there. So as a little message to David and Lois, even though you haven't been here to see your car being built, it's a fantastic build and you'll enjoy it the rest of your lives. Although the viewers haven't had a chance to meet them in person, they will get a chance to meet them next season when we deliver the car to them, and it should be a great time. They're even talking about throwing a big shindig for when this car is debuted down there. So it should be a real enjoyable time, not only for them, but for our staff here at Blades and also our viewers. 32 Roadster pickup, but not a traditional Roadster pickup. And it was a car that was designed by Bryce and is being funded by his father, Paul, which obviously Paul has a lot of input on it too. So, Bryce, we've talked about this in the past. Why don't you share with us a little bit about the inspiration of where the car, the design or the ideas of the car came from?
Well, it's sort of a Barris-style 60s street rod. A lot of the idea came from the basic idea of the a la carte, which was to take a hot rod and turn it into a custom. So it's got a little bit of lead sled styling, it's got a Carson top, and it'll have a metal flake and candy coat paint job. It's got the quad lights in the front, and it'll have sort of a stretched out hood.
Bryce, share with us a little bit what you're trying to do with the styling of it.
Well, I'm sort of trying to combine the modern customs and the old stuff too. It's more of a polished vehicle as opposed to the crude customs from the 40s and 50s. So it'll have a little bit of the concept car feel.
Your dad and I talked about this, making up little schematics of each aspect of the car so that we as a builder can envision you as a designer and how we want to mesh those two items together. You know, the problem with building a car in a lot of instances is most of it's done in people's heads. You're afforded a talent, God-given talent, that says that you can now take that talent or that idea that you have in your mind and put it on paper, where a lot of people can't. And from a builder standpoint, and obviously from even a co-owner or a co-builder standpoint, you need to understand what he's doing. So share with us a little bit about what Bryce needs to do now from the standpoint of further design.
Well, it's been an interesting process because we basically talked about the entire build from the very beginning. We talked about the chassis, we talked about his sense of vision of what the body is going to look like and the proportions and what's going to have to be fabricated and what we can use from original metal. So it's really, we're down to detail work now on just the fine points of the build.
You know, now that we've talked about design phases, we've talked about, you know, ideas and things of what we're doing. You know, once the car is done, what's the goal with it? I mean, is this going to be an everyday driver? Is this something, Bryce, you're going to be taking to college with Dad's permission? Or is this something that's going to be just put into the showcase at home and driven to the shows locally?
Well, obviously a lot of work's going to be put into it to make it stand out at shows, but the real idea behind this is to be a driver and to be enjoyed like a car really should be.
Right. Any ideas when you want to debut it?
Well, you know, the goal...
Get it done tomorrow, Brian, right?
No. But the show that we're shooting for is Autorama up in Detroit. That's the show we want to take it to. We want to get it out to good guys. But we're going to be driving it to as many shows as we can.
You know, I enjoy this every day. I get to work with my father. The viewers know Miss Pap, but I call him Dad, and I get to enjoy it. So God bless you, because you get very quality time with your father to be able to design this. And as far as from a father standpoint, I envy you, because you've got a young man that's very interested in this, and it's a sport that really has evolved as a family-oriented sport for years and years and years. So I commend both of you for the designs and also for the effort put forth. So
thank you, Brian.
You got it.
Thank you.
We're here with Mike and Kevin. Mike came to me probably, what's it been, 2 months, 3 months? About 3 months ago, and with a new project that you are basically doing with your stepson, Kevin. And why don't you tell me a little bit about it and how you come about it, and we'll talk a little bit about the build itself.
Well, Kevin saved for 3 years from the time he was 13 for the truck, and he was on eBay while we were on vacation, and he found his truck, put a bid on it, and amazingly we got it.
eBayer, huh?
Yep.
And we went from North Carolina up to Ohio to pick up the truck, and it was really in great shape. We were kind of apprehensive because we did get a good deal on it.
Right.
And brought it back, sat for 2 years in the barn because we were going to do it, and then we thought if we did it, it wouldn't come out as good as if we had somebody professionally do it. So that's when we came to you.
Well, I know your stepfather's excited about this. Your mother's really excited about this because it's one of them situations that you probably don't get to do for a child every single day. So, first off, why 56 pickup?
Well, I've always I like the body style between the 48 to the 56. I always liked the body style of the Chevy trucks. And for a while I didn't really know what I want until I actually saw, I think it was probably a 52 Chevy pickup, and I really liked it. And then kept looking, and I fell in love with the 55, 56 body style. And I found one on eBay and put a bid on it, and it's been history since. So.
Talk about a little bit about what you want to do with the truck.
I want to keep it looking original, but with kind of like own little hot rod flair, kind of keep like white walls and baby moons and stuff like that, but put a little bit like more like 350 V8 in it rather than the straight six and stuff like that.
So you're looking for more of a 50s, 60s traditional look to it?
Something like that, yes, sir.
Boy, this year is going to be exciting for me because I have sons your age. We have another customer who's in here building a car. Him and his son are doing the same thing that you two are doing. So I've got to figure out a way to get my own kids involved with this. Well, we're out of time today, but for the viewers, we're going to be able to wrap up today, but we're going to kind of carry this interview into next season. So I want to make sure that the two of you stay tuned and the viewers stay tuned with us. So look forward to seeing you all next season.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, it'd be great. I love doing this stuff. My problem is I don't have the time to build a car.
Mike and I have talked about on the off seasons, maybe he'll just take over down here at Blades Rod Shop with all the good ideas he's had on his own.
I don't think I could run it like you do, man. You're a little high strung.
What's that, type A personality?
Type A.
There you
Capital
go.
A.
There you go. How many sons do you have?
I have 3 sons.
Man, what's the oldest?
18.
So he drives, huh?
Yes, he does.
Will he be driving this car?
No, he won't.
And his first name is?
William.
William? William, you won't be driving this car.